Hello and welcome to the mid-season roundup. Just thought I'd put this little video together in lieu of an in-conversation today, just to talk about where we are in the season, how it's gone, and hopefully make some predictions, talk about a few of the teams, the runs they've been on, and the hard work they're doing. So I'm going to start today with the Black League, and as you can see here, I'll make my face a tiny bit smaller. As you can see here, we've got Bok out front. They've played 4, won 4, 8 points, and they are closely followed behind by PSG and the Croc Wombles, who've both got 4 points, followed by the Bogeymen and the Pink Lazies. So, in terms of the combined, halfway through, but bearing in mind Croc Wombles have still got a game in hand here because of the way we run our pitch league, our cups and stuff like that. Bok look like they're well out ahead, but Croc Wombles are with a really good shout. PSG are still in with a really good shout. All it takes is a second half of the season and it could all change, but it's looking like Bok are really strong there. Onto the pitch league. Similar story, Bok out front, but by no means as far. They've played 4, won 3, lost 1. PSG 1 point behind, just one less win, but one more draw. Bogeymen very strong on the pitch, and Croc Wombles exactly the same. They've only played 3. Everything to play for here. I'm surprised, just going on the scores I'm inputting, I'm surprised to see Pink Lazies down there, because they've got some really strong players on there. I'm thinking Dave, some really good guys, Lee Jones, Gavin. So I expect them to have a really strong second half of the season. Onto the scales. Scales is a very mixed bag here. Croc Wombles are well in there, second place, great goal difference. Bok just out in front with 7 points, but if you've had lots of wins on the scales in the early part of the season, it's likely you won't have that those percentages to hit again. So it may well be that this table gets turned on its head in the second half. Yeah, really good to see. Onto the top scorer. So top scorer is based on percentage for our amazing loser, and our top scorer is based on the weight score. You've got to ignore certain people who are... I'm in the wrong one. Let me go to it. I want to do black first. So if you look at the percentages, lots of these guys will be on BMI. So you've got to take out some of the guys on BMI like Cal and Rich, who've done amazing jobs. So their weight score won't necessarily count in terms of the top scorer. So I'm thinking it's between Andrew Rowley with 8 and Simon Cork with 8 for the top scorer. And percentage-wise, Andrew Rowley looks like he could be doing a double, unless Cork can pull something out of the bag. Rob Sydenham not far behind when you consider if he hits a milestone, he'll go to 8.5 instantly. He could well be in the mix. Stuart French, he's close to his 5 there. Could well be a big hitter there, as could Craig. There's a lot to be said for that. I think that could go right down to the wire. All right, on to the Amber League. So Amber League. Let's start with the top scorers. Here. The top scorers, Ray Higby is out front here with 9.5. Percentage-wise, it's looking like Simon Phillips, who's had an absolutely superb season, despite not being able to play as much as he wants to. Martin Jones, absolutely outstanding season. Really good. Still got to discount a few guys who are on BMI, like Miko and Mikey and John. But it's looking like a close battle there as well. All right, on to the combined. We've got a similar thing where one of the teams hasn't played as many games, so Hefty could be well back into this. A much closer affair in the Amber League, with Bisno and Slow Boaters out front, only just. B&J just behind, and then Hefty and Yellow Calorie Boys battling it out at the bottom here. But, only 2 wins off being top of the table, which is really good to see. It's really good to see close, great competition like that. Onto the pitch. Pitch League is slightly different, with Ben and Jamie's out in front, Slow Boaters just behind, but with a game in hand. Bisno just behind them, but with a game in hand on B&J's. This is looking like a tough end to the season. Onto the scale leagues. So we've got Ben and Jamie's out front, Bisno just behind, Hefty with a game in hand there, so could go top of the table in terms of where they are. If they have a good, when they come to play that match, they could go top of the table in terms of the scales. Slow Boaters followed by Yellow Calorie Boys. And if you look here with Hefty, their goal difference on the scales might make all the difference come the end of the season, especially with Bisno being in a minus halfway through the season. So these games in hand may well come to pay dividends later on. We've talked about that already. Let's talk about the combined cup table. So we've got Bok out front, played 7, won 6, lost 1, with 12 points from a possible 14. Crocked in 3rd place. We've got Bisno in 2nd place, just 1 draw behind, very similar to the I think it was the Bogeymen, wasn't it, in the Black League. And what will happen is all of these teams will play off then in the last week. So we got a playoff week. So first will play second, third will play fourth, etc., etc. And we're working as a team to try and get some really good opportunities for guys to actually win stuff on that day. So we're thinking about how we can award bonus goals based that people can use for next season within that match. And over here we've got the form tables. So we've got Bok with a pretty hefty goal difference here. Crocked, quite balanced. Spam, very similar. When they play and they score lots of goals, they really do put them in. And don't forget, these are all combined scores. Other big scorers are B&J's, won by 16 goals in one match. And it's really good to see when you play over 2 legs. So Boaters beat them in the first leg, but they beat Boaters in the second. They lost by 1, but won by 16. So that gives them that overall score of plus 15 for the cup. So that's put them in a really strong position here for the cup, up into 4th. Really good. And don't forget, lots of these, even though, so for instance, B&J's are in 4th here with 6 points, 7th, 4th down to 7th, 4th down to 9th is just on 2 points plus goal difference. Boaters could well still be in there with a shout at the end of the season. And let's talk about the end of the season, the run-in. So Bok have got 2 cup games left, Boaters and Bisno. Lazy's 3 cup games left and 3 league fixtures. Crocked will have their league sewn up by week 12 and will only have a cup match to play. Spam, 2 cup games and 4 leagues. No. 2 cup games, 4 leagues. Yes, plus the whole league playoffs. Yeah, 6 games to play till the playoffs. Bogey's there with 2 cup games, and then they've got a run-in very similar to Bisno, 2 cup games, and then it's just league. And it's good to see these cup games being dropped in every now and again, because what it does, it makes sure people are looking at who they're playing when. Lots of these league matches then matter a lot more, because they might be playing a match and gaining, or playing a match and having a game in hand on another team. So it's really good to see all of these matches being played out, and it's been nice to see the scores through the season and the different teams playing and choosing when to really unleash their scales might, based on whether they're playing a cup or a league match as well. So I'm going to leave you there. I'll drop this graphic of the last few matches into the chat, and I want to hear your predictions. Who do you think is going to win each league? Do you think Bok and Bisno are going to stay on the top? Bok and B&J is going to stay on the top, or do you think there's going to be a shift within your league or the other league where people run out of steam and others get a second wind? Thanks ever so much, guys.